Hi guys, good morning all of you. Guys, I'm audible. Okay, right. So in the last section we completed purpose. Okay, now we will go for the next one. Is called as exception handling. Basically, exception handling, the way you want to use. Okay, and of course, exception handlings we already. So that means if you go to front end side like .NET, Java, yes or no. So in those languages also we have here exception handling. Okay, so for to handling exceptions which was occurred or which was raised in your programs, yes or no. So how you did your exception handlings mechanisms? Okay, so in your front end languages, okay, no, same as in the backend side also. When we are writing some Plsql programs, okay, when we are writing some Plsql programs, so there is a chances are there to occur exception, okay, in our programs, and those exceptions are how to avoid it, okay, and what kind of those exception methods we have it here. What are those? Okay, so that we will discuss in this session. So first of all, we should know, guys, here what is exception means. Okay, so exception is nothing but we all of you know it is a runtime error. It's a runtime error. Otherwise, even though we can say execution error, also we can say it's an execution error. So what is exception means? Exception is a runtime error or else execution error we call. Okay, execution error we call. Okay, fine. But when come to what is exception handling? Okay, here the two things are there. Okay, what is exception handling? Here exception handling is nothing but, guys, here. Okay, to avoiding abnormal termination problem or the situation. So abnormal termination problems or else the situation we are going to be avoided here. Okay, now we are going to be avoided. So exception and exception handling. So exception is nothing but it's a runtime error. Exception handling is nothing but to avoiding abnormal termination of the program or in your program, whatever the abnormal termination problems are occurred, those problems are we are going to be avoid. Okay, now so here what is abnormal termination? Okay, what is abnormal termination? So abnormal terminations are nothing but, suppose abnormal. What is the meaning by abnormal? Abnormal is nothing but unexpectedly. So that means user or a programmer, we are not expecting in my program, there is an exception. Okay, now in my program, there is an exception. So that was, we are not expecting here. Okay, so abnormal terminations. Okay, what you said here, abnormal means unexpected. Program execution was terminated. My program execution was stopped. Okay, so but we are not expected as a programmer. So as a programmer, what we think here? So we are writing some code. Okay, so we are writing some code. But in our view, as a programmer view, we are thinking that my program is right. My programming code is correct. So we're thinking like this, yes or no? But we think we don't know whether my program is right or wrong, my program is having error or not. So that we can't expect before, yes or no? So when we knows that, whenever you want to go for compilation time, if any compilation errors are there, it will be showing to us. Okay, so and later it was executed. So at the time of execution, if any exceptions are there, then it will be showing us. So that means when the program is going to be compile and execute, then only we can know that my program is going to be having the errors or not errors or having problems or not a problem, so that I can understand. But before execution of the program, we can't expect in my program we have a errors. in my program we have a errors, so that we can't expect it. So that's why abnormal means unexpectedly, which we are not expecting. Unexpectedly exceptions are rising and our execution will be stopped. So that is called the abnormal termination. Termination means what now? Your program execution flow will be terminated. That means it may be stopping here. The execution process will be stopped. Okay, it doesn't go to the next level of execution statements. Okay, so this is what we call the termination. Okay, right. For example, generally I'm going to taking guys here. Generally, when you go for to write a class, suppose are you writing some class program? Okay, class A. Okay, now in this class A, we are writing few lines of code. Few lines of code. Few lines of code. And after that, we are writing like the static void. So main method. So in main method also, we are writing some code. And we close and close. So this is normal program. That means we are not using any kind of exception methods. We are not using, just we are writing a general program here. So just class definition and the main method definition we written. Okay, now fine. So now I want to start my execution of this program. So whenever we want to start the program execution, so we all of you know this, the program execution started from main method. Okay, now execution starts from main method. So main method statements are executed now. Main method statements are executed now, and it will come back to the class statements. And we all of you know this guys here. So in any programming language, okay, how the code will be executed means a line by line code compilation and execution. Okay, so now first line statement will execute it. Suppose in the statement, if there is no exception, then it will be move into second line. If second line is also executed successfully without having any exception, then it is move into third line. In third statement is also successfully executed, then it was move into the next line. So like this, it is also successfully executed. Okay, then it was move into next line, and this is also execution. So suppose your program is going to be executed the complete top to bottom. So class A to end of the statement. So that means, can I say this is my top? This is my top. Okay, and the below is called as a bottom. The below is called as a bottom. Okay, na? So top to bottom, whatever and how many statements were written, those every statement is successfully compiled and then successfully executed. Then complete code. Okay, na? Each and every line is going to compile and execute from top to bottom. Then finally, this program is going to be show as some output. Finally, this program is going to be show as some output. Okay. So in that cases, suppose your program will be like this. So your program perfectly executed and showing some output. So in this level, I don't want it any exception handlings. Yes or no? I don't want to use any exception handlings. Okay. So because why sir? Why sir we don't want to use means? Yes, I don't want to use because my program successfully executed. My program successfully executed. And there is no problem in this program. So finally output is got it. So I don't want it any exception handlings here. But tell me guys here, every program we can't write like this. Okay, no? Every program we can't write like this. Okay. Sometimes what it will happen, suppose we are going to be writing our program. Okay, after that, our execution will be started. So main method execution, okay, started from main method and come back to class. In class, first line is executed successfully. Second line executed successfully. Third line, so first line executed, second line executed. When come to third line, so exactly on the statement of third line, okay, your execution will be stopped. That means here we raised here. Okay, it was raised what? An exception. So whenever it was rising an exception, okay, whenever it was rising an exception, what it was happening, guys, here, yes, your program execution will be stopped. Okay, so which statement that was happening, guys, here? Third line. So on third line statement, your exception is occurred. Okay, exactly, or the statement of third line. So your exception is occurred. So once on which statement your exception is raised here, so there itself your program execution is stopped. So this execution of stopping a mechanism is called as a abnormal termination problems. Okay, what we called, guys, here. So whenever your program execution will be stopped, so then we called as a abnormal termination problems. Understanding now? Right. So these problems, whatever the program execution problem is occurred, how my program execution is stopped here. So this problem I need to avoid or overcome. So to overcome this problem, because here my execution stop here, the next remaining lines are not executed. So your third line statement problem is there. So here itself, your execution will be stopped. It means that your execution doesn't go to the next line and next line. So that's why what happened, guys, here, half of the program is executed, remaining half of the program is not executed. Yes or no? So half code is executed, remaining half code is not executed. So whenever your remaining half code is not executed, then how we will get output here? No. So that's why what happened, we are not getting any result. So there is no output. There is no output. Why? Because my program execution is not completed. My program execution is not completed. So that's why it doesn't give any result. Okay, now, then how we can overcome this kind of situations? Okay, right. So now this kind of situation, when it was come to us, then we are using some methods here. So which method we are using generally in your front end side in .NET and Java, some try method. Okay, we are using some try method, and later we are using some catch method. Okay, yeah. So finally, we are using some try catch methods. Okay, in this program. So what it was happen, guys, here? What is the advantage of try catch methods? Let me see. Same as your program execution started with main method execution is completed and come back to try block. Suppose in try block, all statements are executed. Okay, then finally it was showing, okay, finally it was showing what now? Output. Okay, now this is one case. Suppose in this, okay, if unfortunately in your try block, first line executed, second line executed, but third line is having error. So here exception is occurred. So here exception is occurred. Okay, here exception is occurred. Then what happened, guys, here? On which statement your exception is occurred? On which statement your exception is occurred? So this statement, what it will do, guys, here, the statement will be skipped by your system. Okay, the statement will do what it will do, skip. Okay, on which statement your exception is occurred, on which statement your execution process will be stopped, So that statement was skipped by system, and giving permissions to operating system, giving permissions to OS to jump to your catch block, and catch block statements are executed. And catch block statements are executed. And catch block statements are executed. And finally, it was producing output. Finally, it was producing output. Okay, na? So that means what happened? On which statement your exception is occurred, that statement was skipped, and it was giving permission to OS, and OS will go to next block. And in catch block, whatever the statement we written, that's called user friendly statements. Whatever we written under catch block, so those user friendly statements are printing. Okay, na? So that means now your program execution is not stopping here, will continue and producing some user friendly messages. Okay, so to application. Okay, so this is the advantage of what now try and catch blocks. Okay, so this is the mechanism in front end side, back end side, same to same. Okay, now here observe. So finally, what I'm saying here, exception handling is used to avoiding abnormal termination problems. Okay, and what is exception means? Exception is a runtime error. What is exception handling means to avoiding abnormal termination of problems. Okay, right. But in come to our Plsql, there are two types of the exceptions we are going to be interacting here, guys. First one we called as a predefined exceptions we called. Okay, and second one we called as a user defined exceptions we called. So in my Plsql, okay, we are interacting two types of exceptions. So predefined and user defined. Okay, right. So let me see the syntax of this syntax. If I want to go for already in the previously, I was giving the syntax to you, but previous examples we up to declaration and execution blocks only we discussed, and now we will go for exception block. Okay, so now the syntax is what now? First a declaration block. So having some statements here. Next a begin block, that means the execution block. So writing some statement here. And after begin block, then we are writing here exception block. So in this exception, so did you remember when? And here I was giving, I'm going here exception name, and then so we are writing some user friendly messages. Okay, some user friendly messages, and finally end and close. So these are the three blocks that's here. Already the complete syntax I was given in my introduction part of Plsql. Okay, na? So you just recall that syntax here. So declaration. Okay, declaration, and the next one is called as execution block, and we know execution block starts with begin statement. Okay, and later so exception block, and in come to exception block, we are using some exception name. Okay, which exception was occurred in my program, that related exception, okay, name we are using to avoiding that problem. Okay, and later we are passing some user friendly messages in exception block, and finally end your begin statement. Okay, right. So this is your syntax, guys. And let me see, first of all, we will go for the predefined exceptions. First, we will discuss here. So what is predefined exceptions? You can see. So basically, predefined exceptions are called as the system defined exceptions, also we call here. Okay, so these exceptions are defined by Oracle database. Okay, so these are automatically, the Oracle database server was having some predefined exceptions. That's why these exceptions are defined by Oracle server. Okay, now, so in this, few predefined exception names are there. Okay, so some predefined exception names are there. So what are those predefined exception names? First one we called as no underscore data underscore found exception. Okay. Second one we called as a two underscore many underscore rows exception. And next one is called as a zero underscore divide exception. And the next one is called as a invalid underscore cursor is one exception. And next one is what we called as a cursor underscore already okay underscore open. So this is so like this. There are few predefined exception names are we have. And whatever these exceptions guys here, these are called the exception names. And these exceptions are we are using that are related or the corresponding error. So for example, no data found exception is there. So no data found exception name when I want to use means whenever whatever the data we are fetching from the table. Suppose user trying to fetching some data from a table. Suppose the data was not there in the table, then no data found exception is raised. So whatever the exception is raised in the program, that related exception name we are using to handle those exceptions in the programs. Okay, na? I will show you some practical examples, then you can get some idea. Okay, right. So finally, these are the call guys. So predefined exception names. Okay, there are so many names are there, but few names I was given to understanding purpose. Okay, let me see one by one. We will check out. The first one is called as a no data found exception name. Basically, this exception when I want to use. Okay, when I want to use means. Okay, for example, come to practically we will check. Then it's better for you to understand. So just go to open your database as usual. Okay, now let me come out on your table. So this is my working table, guys, and we already know this. Okay, now right. Suppose I'm writing one small program. So declaring one variable, begin, and by using of select statement, we are retrieving that e name and storing under this variable. And the name I'm going to retrieve from EMP table, where EMP number is equal to suppose ampersand of EMP number. After that, whatever you retrieved employee name, that employee name I want to print on my screen. Okay, so we underscore e name. And finally, end and close. So now careful observe guys here, it's a very small program. And now I'm using, for example, 7788. So 7788 I was entered. Okay, 7788 I was entered. So whenever we enter 7788, can you tell me guys here, the 7788 data was there in my table? Come on guys, 7788 data was there in the table. Yes. Yes, we have in the table. So 7788, whatever user enter at a dynamic level. So the 7788 row was there in the table. So it was there in the table means what we can say guys here. Yes, record is found, data is found. The founding data, employee name, I want to display Scott. So 7788 employee name only I'm asking, right? So here I'm asking only name. So the name was successfully displayed. So there is a no exception in this. Okay, now there is no exception. So your data, whatever you enter, the row was found in my table, and that person name, whatever I'm asking, as per my program, that name was displayed. That's fine. The second time, if I enter 1122, so now tell me guys, your 1122 employee was there in my table. No, there is no 1122. So there is no 1122 means. Okay, what happened, guys? Here it was showing some exception, right? Now let me see. Yes, it was showing some exception. What is my exception, guys? Here, no data found. So no data found is my exception, which was occurred in this program. And here observe, this is exception error message. And every predefined exceptions, this is okay, whatever the exception here there, this is error message, exception error message here. And this is exception number. So minus 01403. This is called exception number. And this number is also predefined. So every exception is having some predefined exception number also there. So this is called as a exception predefined number. And this is exception message. Okay. And here at which line your exception is occurred? Line number 4. So this is fourth line. So this is here in this statement, my exception is occurred. Okay. So that means you have to know now exception is occurred in which line, in which statement. Okay. So that was telling by here at line number 4. And this is called a exception line, okay, number, exception line statement number 6510. Those are also predefined. Okay, now, right. So that means finally, when I enter 1122, so it was not showing any output. It was rising some error. And the error is called as a no data found. Okay, now? So now carefully observe, guys. So now which exception, that means which error, which exception or which error is occurred? This error related exception class name, which is which one? That this exception, careful observe, whatever the exception is occurred, this exception related exception name is what? No data found is a related name. Too many underscore is a related name. 0 underscore divide, it is a related name. Invalid cursor is a related name. Cursor already open, it is a related name. Tell me. Now, whatever the exception is occurred in the program, that exception related exception name is what? Come on, guys. Whatever the exception is occurred, that exception related exception name is what? There are few names are there now, predefined names. In this, which one? Yes. What is that? No data found. So no data found exception. Related exception is what now? No data found exception is called as a related exception. So now this exception is I want to use. Understand now? Okay. So this exception name, whatever the predefined exception name is there. So this name I want to use. So I want to use this exception name to avoid exception, which problem? To avoid no data found exception problem. Okay. So which exception is occurred, that related exception, whatever it is there. So that I want to use. Then only that problem can be solved. Then only that problem can be solved. Yes or no? Okay, fine. Now let me go. Then how we can use it? Means, so that is now this exception when I want to use means what I said here. So whenever if you say whenever user try to retrieve a row or record from a table by using select into statement. Select into statement, but row is not found. Is not found in the table. Then Oracle server returns an exception is returns an exception is what is my exception is here? No data found. No data found. No data found. Okay, now this exception is right. So to overcome. Okay, otherwise instead of to overcome, to handle the above exception. To handle the above exception, Oracle will provide an exception name. Is called as no data found. Okay. Okay. So understand now, whenever user try to retrieve a row from a table by using of select into statement, but that row is not found in a table, then Oracle server returns an exception is called as a no data found exception. No data found exception is raised here. And that exception, no data found exception, to handling purpose, then we have one predefined. That means Oracle server is providing one exception here. That predefined exception is provided. That exception name is called as a no data found. That exception name is called as a no data found. Okay, now? Right. So this is what it was had. And now there's no data found exception name, whatever it was there, so that I want to use. But where I want to use this exception name means under exception block. Under exception block. In which case, here I'm writing the exception name. So what is my exception name here? What is my exception name here? No data found. So this no data found exception, I want to use here in my exception block to handle that related exception in the program. Okay. So now let me see. So declaration block, execution block up to here, I will take as it is. there is nothing problem. Okay, and after that, I opened my exception block. So exception block is open by using of exception statement. And now when here what I want to write exception name. What is my exception name? No data found. Suppose while or whenever user retrieving data from a table by using select into statement, unfortunately that row is not found in my table, then immediately yes. So row when row is not found, when your row is not found, then immediately your exception block will be rise. Your exception block will be rise and it's showing some user friendly message. What is the message? TVMS underscore output dot put underscore line of what we want to say, record is not found in table. Record is not found in a table. So there's some user friendly messages, user understandable format. Okay. And execute. Okay, so here what it was happened, three blocks are there. This is a declaration block. This is your execution block. This is your exception block. So three blocks are deleted. So now I'm going to execute. Okay, suppose if I'm giving 7788. So 7788 employee was there, employee record was there. So there is nothing problem. There is nothing problem. That output will be displayed. But when I want to go for 1122, actually the previously same thing 1122 I given, it was showing to me error. This is careful observe, guys. Previously, I was given 1122. Then it was showing some error. But now after using of exception block, by using of exception name, now I was entered 1122. What happened? You can see. Yes. So now when I use 1122, there is no error. Instead of error, it was displaying user friendly messages and below Plsql procedures successfully completed. Carefully observe, carefully observe. Okay, now? So previously, with the same thing I was given 1122, here it was showing error. Okay, but now same thing after using exception block, same 1122 I'm giving, but here there is no error, so output is displayed. Now tell me guys here, your exception, okay, your exception is successfully handled. Na? Come on guys, yes or no? Okay, right. So now this is how we are handling, guys, here, the exception which was occurred, no data form. Okay. So now in the same pattern, every exception, whatever it was there, guys, here, next, same like this, too many rows, 0_divide, invalid cursor already open, SMO. So the predefined exception names, whatever it was there. So these exception name related exceptions which was occurred in a program. So there you can use this exception name to handling purpose. Okay, now? So this is no data found exception, how it was working. Okay, same to same. Okay, let me come to next step. Okay, so next one is called as what now, guys? The second one is called as too many. Okay, too many, many underscore rows. So this is my second exception. Okay, so this exception name when we want to use. Okay, this exception name when we want to use means here. Come to your database. For example, I'm going to creating one sample table, guys. Test number or else EMP66. So ID and otherwise name, okay, and salary. This is one table. Okay, this table already having. So I'm dropping this EMP66. But so now I'm creating one sample table. So this is my table we created. Okay, fine. The table successfully we designed. After created, okay, later I'm inserting few records into this table. EMP66 sending value, some name was I, some amount of salary 25,000. And now later I will come out and see my table EMP66. And guys, tell me in my EMP66 we have only one row. We have only one row. Understanding now? We have only one row. So now I just keep it here. Okay. When my table is having a single row data, at this moment, I'm writing small program. One variable I'm declaring here, the number variable. Okay. After that begin. Now I'm passing select sal into the salary I want to throw into the salary from EMP table. And that I want to print on my screen, dbms underscore output dot put underscore line of v underscore sal. Okay, and finally and close. So now what it will happen, guys, here. Sorry, guys, here EMP table I'm taking now. Okay, so that's why the error is showing. So from which table we want to take EMP 66, EMP 66, and the remaining things will be same. Okay, fine. Now what happened? So 25,000 rupees successfully displayed on the screen. Because my EMP66 table is having only single row, and the single row information or single row or single value will be returns. So here it was returning, there is nothing problem. Okay now. But now guys here, let me check. Suppose I'm inserting one more row into this table. EMP66 values, I'm inserting one more row. So the row name is, for example, biller. The amount of salary 15,000 rupees. So now let you come out and see your table EMP66. Okay. Now how many rows we have it guys here? 2 rows are we have it here. How many rows? 2 rows. So 2 rows, exactly your table is having 2 rows, and exactly at this point of time, the same program, whatever I used here, the same program I'm going to write. But this time what it was happening, you can see the same programming code in the previously when I was written, then it was showing some output 25,000. It was giving some output and Plsql procedure successfully completed. After that, what I did here, I inserted one more employee information into this table. And now same, I'm going to fetching the data from your table. But here tell me, here in my table, now we have a 2 rows. That means more than 1 rows are there. More than 1 row was there. So when it was having more than 1 row and to execute it now, what happened? You can see, yes, it was showing error. What is error? Exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. Okay. So why, sir, why it was showing this exception means? The reason is simple reason. I think you people remember or not, I don't know. But did you remember? Select into class statement. Let me select into statement. In early introduction part of Plsql, once you recall, select into we discussed. Select into statement is always returns a single row or a single value. Yes or no? It returns a single row or a single value. Understand now? So select into statement is always returns a single row or a single value. Okay, so that's why when my table is having only 1 row, then it was successfully written, single value successfully written here. But when my table is having multiple rows, then your select into statement is showing error. Why, sir? Means the nature of select into statement is what? It always returns a single row, a single value, a single row or else a single value. But select into statement through, select into statement through, we cannot return or we cannot retrieval more than 1 value or more than 1 row. Okay, now select into statement. What I'm telling guys, observe, select into statement will always returns a single row or a single value. But it is not possible to try to return more than 1 row or more than 1 value. But here what I'm doing here by using of select into statement, I am trying to retrieval 2 values. I'm trying to retrieval 25,000, 15,000. 2 values I'm trying to retrieve. But what it was telling here, sorry, your exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. So that means your select into statement is returning only 1 value, but are you trying to fetching more than requested number of rows? More than requested number of rows. Understand now? So that's why this error was came it. Okay. How to avoid this exception? Okay. Now let me come out. So that means what you understand? 2 underscore many. This exception name. When I want to use means, okay. Now here the problem is when it is when user try to retry, okay, more than 1 row or else more than one value from a table by using select into statement, select into statement, then Plsql server returns and exception is what is my exception, guys? Here, what is my exception here? Exact which returns more than requested number of rows. Okay, yeah, more than requested number of rows. Okay, this is the exception. So to handle what I'm saying here, to handle this exception, okay, Oracle provide an exception name. Oracle provide an exception name is called as what, guys? To underscore many underscore rows. Okay, na? Understand my point, na? So when user try to retrieval more than one row or more than one value from a table by using of select into statement, then Oracle server returns an exception is exact which returns more than requested number of rows. Understand now? Now, so this is one. So to avoid this problem, to avoid this exception, then we are using, okay, too many rows exception name. Okay, let me come. So let me come. Still my table is having here how many rows, guys? Here 2 rows. Okay. Now I want to take this program up to here, same as this I'm taking, no changes. And now I'm passing here exception block. Now I'm passing here exception block. Now what is my exception name? To underscore many underscore rows. If your table is having too many rows, then I have to print some user-friendly message. Underscore line of yes, simple I'm taking here. Okay, a table is having, okay, so more than one row. A table is having more than one row. Okay, user-friendly message, and I need to end. So what it was saying here, because my table is having how many rows? 2 rows. So that's why here important the statement also showing a table is having more than one row. And more than one row, some user-friendly message we printed, and our Plsql program successfully completed. Okay, now, for example, suppose in your table, okay, 2 rows are there, right? Now one row I'm deleting. Delete from EMP66. So where suppose ename is equal to Sai, I deleted. After deleted, now tell me, guys, here in your table how many rows now? Only one row was there. Understanding my point now? Only one row was there. So now when your table is having only single row, and exactly at this point of time, now I'm writing the same program here. Same exception I'm using, exception name I'm using, some user-friendly message I'm giving. Okay, all are giving here. But this time my table is having only one row. Then what happened if I entered? Yes, you got it 15,000. Plsql procedure is completed. Okay, now understanding my point now? So now you get it here 15,000 because my table is having only one row. So that's why it was giving some values will be written, and select into statement always written single value or single row. Okay, right. This is what we called as, guys, here select into statement working nature. Select into statement working nature. Okay, and too many rows exception, how we are using in this program. Now we got it now. So this is what we called. Okay, and the next one, third one is what now, guys? Here, 0_ divide exception. 0_ exception. So this exception, when I want to use, guys, when I want to use this exception means, so whenever we are going to be doing the division with 0, okay, what I'm saying here, so division with the 0, so then 0_ divide exception is occurred. Okay, example what, sir? Let you come out. So first of all, come to my example and see. I'm going to declaring few variables, some x number, some y number, some z number. Okay, fine. The three variables I declare. After that, begin. X is equals to ampersandage of x, dynamic variable. Y is equals to ampersandage of y. So dynamically entry purpose we are using x comma y. Okay. After that, z is equals to x by y. My operation is what now? Z is equals to x by y. Okay. Then after dbms underscore output dot put underscore line of Z I was given. And finally end my program. So x value was asking me, so I'm giving 10. That's fine. Y value is asking me, I was given 2. That means x value 2 and y value, for x value 10 and y value 2. So 10 by 2. So 10 by 2 means what is your division? 5. So 5. So there is no exception in this case. There is no exception in this case. Okay, now? But when we are going to be passing like this, that's here next. I'm passing x is equals to 10, y is equals to 0. So my division with the 0. So whenever I'm going to 10 by 0, then exception is occur. So what is your exception, guys? Here divisor is equals to 0. Okay, whatever your division is there, that you performed your operation with the 0, division with the 0. So whenever your second number is 0, the 10 by 0 is called exception. I think this exception you have in your .NET, Java, yes or no? This exception is there. The divide by 0 exception. Okay, we have it here. So same here also, when you did your division with 0, the second number is 0. If I'm using 10 by 0, 20 by 0, so the second number is 0, then definitely exception is up. So this is what we call as, guys, here. Okay, so 0_ divide exception where you want to use means whenever we perform operation with the division 0, okay, there we are getting some exception, and that exception handling purpose we are using 0_ divide. Okay, right. So now see, I'm using that exception name. Up to here, I will take as it is now. And now I'm passing here the exception block. I'm passing exception. And what I'm saying here, exception name is what? 0_ divide. 0_ divide. Then I have to say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line of some user friendly message. What is user friendly message? Second number should not be 0. Second number should not be 0. Some user friendly message and end and close. So when I'm giving here 10 by 5, so output is showing 2. There is no error here. And now I'm giving second time 10 by 0. That means second number, I'm passing here what now? Second number is 0. But when I'm passing second number 0, what it was happening, you can see it was showing previously, it was showing error. The second number 0, it was showing previously error. But now this time, no error. So your exception is handled and it was displaying some user-friendly messages. What is user-friendly message? Second number should not be 0. then PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Okay, now. So this is what now, guys, here 0_divide exception name when we want to use means when you do your operation division with 0, so there this problem is come and the problem you need to avoid. Understand now? Right. So this is 0_divide exception name how to use. So in predefined, there are 3 exceptions how we are working in the programs. We understand here. So no data found exception, too many rows. Okay, now we are getting some slowly understanding now how it was using, right? And later invalid cursor and cursor already open. So these are 2 exception names. So in which case I have to use in my program. Okay, that I will go to. Okay, we will see in tomorrow's session. And after that, we will go for user defined exceptions also. We can see. Okay, now, right? Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.